It's not complicated. If the Cincinnati Bengals want an easier time winning against the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend, it's up to the players that everybody already knows. Hi again, Bengals fans. John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati here, and I want you to take a moment and think back to this time last year. The Bengals were 0-1 following an extremely disappointing season opener against the New England Patriots, and they were about to face the Kansas City Chiefs in what was deemed a must-win game. And remember what happened in that game. I'm not talking about the Dajon Anthony pass interference call at the end of the game that gave the Chiefs the win. I'm not talking about Jamar Chase exploding for a personal foul penalty. I'm not even talking about Cam Taylor-Britt's one-handed interception against Xavier Worthy. The Bengals offense in that game showed that they can evolve and bounce back quickly. It may not look like the fully cohesive machine that they are later in the year, but they can learn from their mistakes really quick. And while the circumstances are certainly different this year with the Bengals actually having a win on the record books, the offense and the pressure that they're under right now, it's not that much different, because outside of their 2 touchdown drives in the first quarter against the Cleveland Browns, they were just putrid last Sunday. A level of putrid that absolutely cannot be replicated at any other point this season. And I know most of you will immediately default to pinning all of this on Zach Taylor, and I do think that he does deserve plenty of warranted criticism as a situational play caller, but when the Bengals leave the field after not taking advantage of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins seeing a lot of man coverage, that falls on both of those guys, and more importantly, it falls on Joe Burrow. And that's why my eyes can't focus on any other part of this team except the big three that represent who the Bengals are, what their identity is: Burrow, Chase, Higgins. They cannot have back-to-back stinkers collectively at all. And guys, I feel pretty confident calling them out because they're Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. They're kind of good at what they do. But that's the thing. I've been asked pretty much all week, are you concerned about the state of this offense and what they showed against the Browns? And again, the Browns have one of the best defensive coordinators in the game, one of the best pass rushers of all time, and guys on the outside of cornerback that can line up and play these guys in man-to-man. They have all the ingredients to limit the Bengals offense. They just happen to completely shut them down for 2 quarters. That is a very, very rare occurrence for the Bengals offense. It just so happens that this year, they won instead of last year when they lost. But in all honesty, that's pretty much the key to this game. If the Bengals want to have more success on offense against the Jags than they did against the Browns, then Jamar Chase and T. Higgins need to link up more often with Joe Burrow in the passing game. I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention that TJ Slade needs to have another solid game against the Jaguars' interior offensive line and Trevor Etienne, who completely ran wild against the Carolina Panthers, or that Cam Taylor-Britt needs to step up and actually guard Brian Thomas Jr., unlike what he did against Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman against the Browns. But no, this team's identity needs to play well in order for them to have the best chance of success, and they just didn't do that last Sunday. But over the last 2 years, after a stinker in week 1, Burrow's bounced back in week 2. Jamar Chase completely popped off against Jaguars cornerback Tyson Campbell the last time these two teams played, and that was when Jake Browning was his quarterback. And if Travis Hunter is actually going to play more cornerback in this game, I would imagine he's going to see a lot of T. Higgins, and T. Higgins has an opportunity to give him a welcome to the NFL moment. The Jags are definitely a tricky team to figure out. They got a new head coach, and they got a lot of new players who can make a difference for them. But I do expect the Bengals offense to be considerably better this Sunday, and that should lead them to going 2-0 for the very first time in the Zach Taylor era.